Yes, good afternoon. Permit me to stand on existing protocols. Lovely to see my colleagues in the industry. And thank you very much and congratulations to the ATPN for 30 years of service in Nigeria. Again, congratulations to ATPN. This is a laudable event and one that is very much needed at this time. Some years ago, I think probably about over 10 years ago, I decided to just check what different tourism experts are saying about Nigeria, because people often say to me comments like, oh, there's no tourism in Nigeria, I think silly things like that. However, well, anyhow, I came across this phrase, which was actually by the Lonely Planet, and it said Nigeria is a Cinderella state that has not quite reached the ball. I tried to process that, and I thought, wow, two things there. They realized that Nigeria has all the potentials, but they also realized that Nigeria do not realize the potentials that they have. Now, people have actually talked. I mean, the presentation from Gloria was brilliant. Which again, talking about Mexico, there is so much similarities between Mexico and Nigeria. Nigeria being the most populous Black nation in the world, that is in the world, and obviously the most populous African nation. That is a power right there. There is power in numbers. I am a Nigerian by origin, so I guess when I say we, you will actually understand that. So there's power in numbers. As I've said in previous webinars and meetings, seminars, etc., that COVID, there is actually some benefits to COVID, though there's no good from anything bad or evil, as I always say. However, COVID, and the pandemic has actually caused us to look inwards. Now, if you mentioned, that imagine if you have 45% of Nigerians visiting Nigeria. In 2017, we as WATO, that is the West Africa Tourism Organization, we launched a project called WAIT. WAIT, is West Africa Integrated Travel. And the purpose of that is to really look at developing domestic tourism and regional tourism. Obviously, I actually represent a regional body. We do say to our members that the key is to really develop domestic tourism. A lot has been said on that today, so I'm not going to go deep into that. However, there is power in numbers. Nigeria is nearly 200 million people. I say no more to that. Nigeria is blessed with natural landmarks, mountains, waterfalls. We have, wildlife reserves, rare primates. I will touch on those in a little bit. Dense rainforests, savannas, deserts, diverse cultures, over 350 languages. Now, these keep changing. I'm going to play a video in a minute, and I think the video actually says over 450 languages. And however, over 250, cultures in Nigeria. So that is, that is an awesome thing. Because I have not inserted my video into my presentation, so I'm gonna stop sharing the slide for a few seconds and play a video. No, pardon me. So you can tell that I'm actually not that techie. Yeah. If you're supposed to be helping out here, because that is the reason you have.
Okay, would you like to go and share the video from here?
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that.
Okay, can you, stop sharing?
Okay. Are you having issues? Should I try and... Should I try and, share it from here? Can you hear me?
Please stand by.
While that is going on, Nigel is sending in his apologies. He has to be at another meeting now, so he will leave any moment. So he asked me to send his apologies to the house. We'll be in touch with him after this. Thank you very much, Nigel and WTTC, for participating. Thank you, we appreciate.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Can you see the video now?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Okay.
Nigeria is the undiscovered jewel in the crown of Africa. It is a country of vast tropical and equatorial woodlands, with arid deserts to extensive savanna grasslands, expansive mountains, immense rivers, numerous waterfalls, and mystic forests. Nigeria has it all. It is a place of rhythm, of dance, of music, of festivals, of tradition and culture, of spectacular color, of glamour, and a country of 200 million smiles. And home to a unique people of incomparable passion. A country blessed with breathtaking landscapes.
Yes.
Home to some of the most diverse equatorial flora and fauna species, including the unique Jos Plateau indigo bird, the Anambra waxbill, the Niger Delta red colobus, the near-extinct four-toed forest elephant, and the Cross River gorilla. It has the largest concentration of drill monkeys to be found anywhere on Earth. The Niger Delta has the highest amount of monotypic fish families in existence and is situated in the second biggest delta and mangrove region in the world. Nigeria is the undisputed welcoming heart of Africa. With a population close to 200 million people, it has 521 unique languages with many more dialects, and the world's newest organic language, Pidgin, and also the world's oldest structured sign language, Hausa Sign Language, or HSL. The ancient city of Kano houses the world's oldest continuous market, the 600-year-old Kurmi Market. Nigeria has two UNESCO World Heritage Sites in the Iron Age Sukuru landscape situated in Adamawa State, as well as the proto-historical and sacred Osun-Osogbo Grove situated in Osun State. The world's oldest custom-made boat, the 8,500-year-old Dunufa Kano, was discovered in Yobe State in the northeast of the country. With many unique and ancient cultures, traditions, and customs, in addition to hundreds of mouth-watering dishes in the national cuisine, it is also a country steeped in spirituality, with as many Muslims as Christians. It is the origin of the world's oldest practiced philosophical system in Ifa, also known as Afa. It is practiced as Santeria, Candomblé, Palo, Umbanda, and Voodoo in many countries around the world. Nigeria also boasts the oldest known unbroken paternal monarchy of more than 10,000 years, in addition to thousands of monarchies and numerous sultanates going back many hundreds of years. The town of Badagry in Lagos State was used as a slave port during the transatlantic slave trade for a period of 379 years. Between 8 to 11 million people were captured and forced into slavery via the point of no return, initially to the West Indies, Cuba, North America, and later on Brazil and elsewhere in South America. Genetic science has revealed that approximately 65% of all African Americans indicate Yoruba genetics. And more than 85% of all people of African origin in Brazil and Cuba are from Nigeria as the country it is today. The country has always been the beating heart of African football. It has gifted the world with some of the most dynamic and creative football players of all time. Gifted the world with music and artists such as the late great Fela Kuti, King Sunny Ade, Seal, Dr. Alban, and many international stars. Nigeria has also gifted the world with giants of African literature and poetry. However, Nigeria is a country on the move. The Eco-Atlantic project in Lagos will be the most advanced new city on the planet. It is a country of hardworking people, an industrious and creative people. Its film industry, Nollywood, produces close to 2,000 films annually. The country is also well known for its exotic deep ocean diving, in addition to sports fishing of marlin and tuna. Nigeria is a country of kings, of queens, businessmen and businesswomen, a place of vast sprawling game parks and highly developed cities, a country of drums, of color, culture, of festivals, music, rhythm and art. This is Nigeria. There is simply nothing quite like it.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to go back to see. So this is Nigeria. There is nothing quite like it, and I'm sure everyone agrees with me. You know, when we say that. Now, I was asked to. Well, I was basically asked a question, and to discuss on that. So that's what is Nigeria's unique selling point, USP. You know, and I thought that's well, rather than, you know, going into, in fact, I got quite overwhelmed preparing for this presentation. I only just prepared last night, you know. However, you know, trying to figure out what do I pinpoint, what do I, you know, talk about with a vast country such as Nigeria. I thought the best way is to actually play that video. And I'm sure that you can all agree that, you know, the unique selling point for Nigeria is culture and heritage, you know, culture, history, and heritage. And we'll touch on those, you know, in a few minutes. As I said, you know, that, you know, Nigeria has untapped potentials. Nigeria is a land flowing with milk and honey. However, again, a Cinderella state that have not quite reached the ball. Indeed, still a sleeping giant. Nigeria is sitting on a gold mine with, you know, tremendous, you know, immense potential. So we need to actually tap into those potentials. Now, as an organization, we are focusing on three main areas for tourism development across West and Central Africa, and obviously Nigeria being one of them. The first is ecotourism. You know, now we've heard, I think almost everybody is actually spoken about the ecotourism, you know, of Nigeria. Marina, you know, touched on it, you know, very well, you know, and I'll try not to, you know, duplicate efforts, as I said, you know, but focusing, you know, zooming in on ecotourism. There are loads and loads that I can mention, but let's just talk about mangroves. I'm sure that there are people from Badagry, and a lot has been said about Badagry. You know, last year, actually 2 years ago, we started a project, you know, because we realized that there was so much, you know, I mean, Nigeria is sitting on a gold mine. And again, I mean, sometimes it baffles me, because I think, is it that the governments don't realize the potential? Or is it that even the practitioners themselves don't realize the potentials? Because if they do, they will all know that, you know, we shouldn't run after oil that is, you know, gradually, you know, drying off. And so mangroves. Well, actually, let me just go through the different things, you know, that I want to talk about. Then I'll pick them one by one. So ecotourism. You know, an example that I'll be touching on is the mangroves. we have the wildlife, we have the drills and the cross-river gorillas. We have the culture and heritage, and I'm going to be touching on a project called Shield Africa, which in this case will be Shield Nigeria. I'll explain that. Then the history and heritage, obviously, the unsung heroes, and the diaspora. So ecotourism. So I'm gonna try ecotourism. Now, speaking specifically on mangrove, because you can get quite overwhelmed, in thinking, okay, which areas do you focus on? We want to focus on, on mangroves. Now, I'm actually going to cite example, of mangrove forest from Jakarta, which you can see a picture of this on the left of my screen. In the first quarter of 2018, the Ministry of Tourism recorded foreign exchange earned by the tourism sector in Jakarta reaching $9 billion US dollars. So now that is in Jakarta. Obviously, they actually also have a lot of mangroves, and I think they're probably first in the world. Now, Nigeria contains the third largest area of mangroves in the world. More than 2/3 of West Africa's mangroves are found in Nigeria. So Nigeria is actually, I believe, #1 in Africa. Mangroves, play an essential role in West Africa's coastal fisheries, which contribute 400 million annually to the regional economy. Now, this figure is actually some few years, so I'm sure it's actually really increased, by now. What we do in Nigeria is cutting down on mangroves. Mangroves in Nigeria, the locals, again, this is also dealing with, rural development, because mangroves are actually found in rural areas. Now, what Nigerians do is to cut down the mangroves and use as firewood. But we need to, educate our people. I saw, a comment from someone from Badagry. But Badagry has a lot of mangroves. The Niger Delta has the most mangroves in Nigeria. Ekpe also has a large mangrove, forest. Now we need to educate our people not to, cut down or destroy mangroves, because we keep talking about God loves Nigeria so much, because if a quarter of the, natural or environmental disasters that happen elsewhere in the world happens in Nigeria, will be no more. However, those things have not, come near us, and that is because God has blessed us with so much natural resources, and the mangroves are actually one of them. Mangroves prevent, environmental and natural disasters. So we need to encourage and educate, the locals in these areas to stop cutting down mangroves. So now, what I actually basically wanted to share is to see the similarities with Nigeria and Jakarta. In Nigeria, I don't believe. We have a project as an organization to actually build, actually work with environmental tourism and ecotourism around mangroves. And apart from that, I have not heard of any ecotourism, attraction or projects in Nigeria. Now, Jakarta, which is obviously a lot smaller than Nigeria, is making, $9 billion US, with the mangroves alone. In fact, the mangrove tourism actually yield, I believe, 70% of Jakarta's tourism earnings. So just to prove the importance of mangroves and ecotourism in Nigeria. The next one I want to talk about is the wildlife. We have the drills. The video actually mentioned this in particular. We have the cross-river gorillas. Now we have the drills that are only found in two places, ideally, but I'll say 3 places in the world. Nigeria being #1 of it, and we have the special species called the cross-river gorilla. These are only found in Nigeria. The drill monkeys you can find in Nigeria and the southwest of Cameroon, which borders Cross River State. of Nigeria, and you have the Cross River gorilla, which is a subspecies of Western gorilla, and they are only found in Cross River State of Nigeria. Now, I've taken an example of Uganda. I tried to actually get an updated figure, and I couldn't, by last night, because I'm sure they will actually get back to me. Uganda makes approximately $600 to $1,500 per tourist. Sorry, in fact, I put per tourism, pardon me, per tourist. So that is per person. And this is actually only in the Grindi, Park, National Park in Uganda. This figure is from 2016. And they recorded, in this park only, they recorded around 20,000 tourists, to this park, in 2016. So that is per year. So you can imagine what Nigeria can make. In 2007, we brought in some tourism experts. We had a farm trip, to Nigeria, and I had, one of our, wildlife, experts that said, in fact, see what we actually even took, Calabar out of the itinerary for logistic, purpose, but he was adamant, on going to, Cross River State, to Afri Mountain, and to the, and to the park in Calabar, because he was mainly interested in this, gorillas and drills. And he came back and he said, Ola, he said, we send so many people. I mean, he mentioned the figures to Uganda every year, and they paid, on average, these figures. He said, I can get tourists to actually pay more to, see what you have in Nigeria. That kind of like made my heart bleed, because I thought, we're not really caring for this, natural resources that God has blessed us with. Can you imagine how much money we will make, and how much, development to rural areas, and that, Nigerians will earn, from tourists coming to actually visit what God has blessed us with in abundance. Now, we've spoken about culture and heritage. Sorry, I'm trying to actually, speak through my presentation. Culture and heritage is actually Nigeria's, strong points. Now, we have a project called SHIU Africa, which, I mentioned in this case would be SHIU Nigeria. Now, SHIU is an acronym, for see, hear, eat, wear. Now, if we see our, diverse cultures, our natural, resources that we've actually mentioned, one of them, being the ecotourism, etc., our diverse culture, are over 250 cultures, over 450 or 520, according to the video, languages of Nigeria. Now hear Nigeria, so hearing the sounds, the music, somewhat like Fela's music, goes around the world. King Sunny Ade's music, is actually played and heard around the world. We have so much. We have so much more as well. I'm very proud of our youth these days. With the Afrobeat. I think there's nowhere in the world that you will go that you will not hear Afrobeat. So here, Nigeria, eat Nigeria. We have the most tantalizing, the most colorful, gastronomy. I think, I believe it's actually Professor Marina who talks about gastronomy. That is actually a niche market that, that the tourism experts are actually looking to, develop. I know the UNWTO have something specifically to that. We have so much in Nigeria. Now, where, you can wear our colorful, dynamic apparels like I'm doing today. I think it was last year or 2 years ago, there was actually some, talks going and people getting angry that there are some, top international designers are using the Ankara, or what we call African prints fabric, and they, charging exorbitant amounts. Do you blame them? I don't, because I mean, they actually see an opportunity. I mean, Ankara doesn't cost, that much compared to what, people sell it internationally. Now they've seen, a market and a gap in the market. So we need to, really, really promote what we have. There's no time that's actually where our parents that people don't stop me and ask, I love what you're wearing. Where can I get it from? So these are the things that we need to look. This is actually the niche tourism, market that we need to develop. I asked, ATPL actually to, supply me with the festivals in Nigeria, because our festivals is one of the things that I know as well, so that's we're actually looking to promote. And there are over 70 festivals in Nigeria. This is a niche market that we need to, promote and develop. Now, as we actually said earlier, we have approximately 200 million people. 200 million people of 250 diverse cultures. So this is a niche market where we need to really develop and promote. There is a saying that a prophet is not without honor except in his own hometown. Nigerians do not realize, the gold mine that we have. This is why you will want to, wear, I don't know, different designers, clothing. There's nothing wrong with that. That is why people always want to, visit outside. And if they haven't gone to Dubai or they haven't gone to America, they haven't traveled. Now, for me as a person, I'm very happy when, people like America say, no, don't come to our country, and they actually put visa restrictions, because you need to, look inwards. And this is what COVID has actually taught us all. You need to look inwards. There's so many places. Nigerians need to travel around, and you need to also travel. I mean, I promote and I'm a big advocate for domestic and regional tourism. And you need to also travel around, your neighboring countries. Republic of Benin is only, in fact, I think it's actually just 30 minutes away from, Badagry, or at most, 45 minutes to 1 hour. Have you been there? So we need to travel, within our own attractions, and actually visit our attractions and spend our local monies there. Yes, we do need the international tourists because we need the forest. We cannot, we actually can't rule that out. However, charity begins at home. Let us first look inwards and actually, service. Now, the historic and heritage site. I want to, zoom in on Bilikisu Shugon. How many Nigerians know, talk less of outsiders, how many Nigerians know that the final resting place of the biblical Queen of Sheba is in Nigeria, in Ogun State? This is not talked about. I was invited by the state, and I toured round, and they actually took me to this place. Now, I think at some point they developed, the site, but now it's actually overgrown with, with forest. I will actually call it forest and not grass. So these are the things that we need to look at. I mean, if you go to Israel, I've been to Israel so many times. Israel makes so much money, and it's really from history. Oh, walk where Jesus walked, or walk where the Apostle Paul walked. And we read about this. In fact, when they told me that, oh, Queen of Sheba, I was like, do you mean the biblical Queen of Sheba? And they said yes. Her last resting place is in Nigeria. There's a whole history to that, which I'm not going to go into. So that is actually just a wasting heritage and a wasting history and sites that needs to be developed. We have the walls of Benin. This makes me cry. I've been to the Great Wall of China in Beijing. Now I went for work for a seminar, for a conference, and I said to them, there's no way I'm going to come to Beijing without seeing the Great Wall of China. Now, when I went there, in fact, it was actually a raining, very great day, but the place was still full of tourists. Now, the walls of Benin, also known as the Moat of Benin, is 4 times the size of the Great Wall of China. And when you Google that, what is the biggest or the largest wall in the world or monument, they will actually tell you the Great Wall of China, but it is not. The walls of Benin is 4 times the size of the Great Wall of China. And the Great Wall of China welcomes more than 10 million tourists to one side, one section of it, because obviously it's huge. So you actually have, different sectors of it. So it welcomes more than 10 million tourists to just one sector of it every year. So can you imagine what Nigeria would make, if we actually develop? Now, just to actually, because I've actually mentioned this to some people, and they said to me as well that probably some parts of it was demolished and all, same as the Wall of China, the Great Wall of China, but they actually reconstructed them and rebuilt them. But they will show you, when you go there, they will show you that these were the original walls. So we'll actually see some sectors that were actually the original walls, and you'll see some that were reconstructed. We can do that in Nigeria. Now, the next one is one that is very, very dear and close to my heart, which is the diaspora and African heritage. The video that we saw mentioned it. I'm not sure if someone else mentioned this earlier, and 65% of African Americans are said to be of the Yoruba descent. 80% of Jamaicans are said to have originated from Nigeria. The video that I played, tells us that 85% of Cubans and Latin Americans as well, are of Nigerian descent. Now, when I went to Barbados some years ago, we all know the music legend. Oh gee, what's his name now? Give Me Hope, Joanna. So in fact, I actually had a meeting with him, and he told me a lot of stories and a lot of history. And he said to me that the people of Barbados refuse to let go of the name or the word Ilaru, because that is where they came from. Now, till today, the official residence of the Prime Minister of Barbados is called Ilaru Court. And Ilaru is a place in Nigeria, specifically in Ogun State. Now, can you imagine if we actually develop, and actually really promote and really welcome our brothers and sisters from the diaspora? A lot of people have called me, especially last year when Ghana did the year of return. I worked with Ghana on this project. Now, Ghana made $1.9 billion from the year of return alone. Ghana is very serious in connecting diasporans. However, Nigeria has more. We've actually seen the figures. Figures don't lie. I didn't make up these figures. This is, if you actually, you can Google this. I know, again, Badagry is actually trying a lot. There's a state-of-the-art, museum in Calabar, which actually again talks about the transatlantic slave trade. These are the niche market that we need to develop. Especially after the Black Lives Matter movement, people of African descent in the diaspora are looking to reconnect with the motherland, as we call it. Nigeria has so much. Now, the UN actually carved out the decade of people of African descent. I think it's either 2014 to 2025 or 2015 to 2024. You can research that as the decade of people of African descent. So Nigeria can capitalize on this and actually have a lot of events. I know there were actually different events taking place. So we need to capitalize on this. These are niche markets that we can build on and that can give us a lot of income into the sector and into the economy as a whole. Now, there were a few challenges. I shared this, in some of the Nigerian, webinars that I did recently. We have, the road and other infrastructure. So we need to work with governments. Governments really need to, stand up and stop making excuses we need to put our money where our mouth is. You know, there's a lot of talks about developing tourism. We need to develop because people are losing out. 80% of tourism practitioners are SMEs. So they are the ones that are actually most affected. So government needs to realize that we need to, you know, develop our people and actually raise them up. You know, your local pure water sellers can make so much money from tourism. Your local, you know, Bolly roaster, you know, can make so much money from tourism, but we need infrastructures to be put in place. We have a lot of dilapidated, you know, tourist site attractions. One of them is actually the Great Wall of, you know, Benin, the, you know, resting place of the, you know, Queen of Sheba that I touched on, and so many more, so much more that I can't actually go into for the lack of time, you know. Then the lack of understanding and education of what tourism industry is. This is something that every day we talk about. Even people that you know are in tourism and in ministry and all do not understand. So there needs to be capacity building, you know, lack of funding. Someone sent me a message today as we're actually on this, you know, forum, and said, you know, it's all good and well having all the seminars and promoting, but if there's no funding to develop the, you know, sector, you know, we have a yearly event that we call Area Expo. Last year, we actually talked about accessing funds. So there are funds to be accessed. You can contact us at West Africa Tourism Organization, you know, and I mean, funny enough, we actually have other people from other regions, not even West and Central Africa, that contacts us, that comes to us to help them, you know, source for funding. There are people that are willing to fund tourism projects. And now, in fact, lately in Nigeria, I've actually seen some banks come up and they are willing to actually fund tourism projects. So we need to, look into this. The lack of data, you know, you cannot really get data, you know, or tourism data from places. So we need to work on this. And this has to also be private sectors and government working together. Then the lack of branding. For the past 4 years, Nigeria has not really branded, and it does not matter if you're promoting domestic tourism. You need to be out there. Listen, funders, and I've actually had funders say this to me, that we don't know if Nigeria has potentials that we actually want to risk our money because they don't see Nigeria anywhere promoting Nigerian tourism. You know, so we need to brand and actually market. So, I mean, the solutions is actually what I mean, basically, you know, finding solutions to the, you know, to the problems, you know, that I mentioned, you know, fixing roads, restoring tourist sites and attractions, investing in capacity training, you know, for both, you know, government and private sector. Good infrastructure will attract investors, you know, work on data collection, branding and marketing, and work on private and work with private sector. There is no tourism without private sector. So there's no much, even if government pumps so much money and do everything, put the infrastructure, you must work with private sector. There's no tourism without you know, private sector. And obviously the diaspora and African is a huge market. So that is one area that Nigeria needs to look into. I'll put some caption. I can make this in a presentation available for people. I share this, you know, when people say to me that, you know, even international tourists don't come to Nigeria, I say that is a big lie. So this is why I love this. And when you read the captions from a blog that international tourists have actually put, as a Nigerian, you will be proud. You will be proud to be a Nigerian when you read this. You know, so this is, you know, made available. So really, as the video say, Nigeria, there's really nothing quite like it, but we need to develop and to, you know, promote it. So thank you very much for listening. We will make this presentation available to ATPN, and I think we'll probably share it also on our social media, and anyone who probably wants it will be more than happy to share it with you. Thank you.